So today I'm going to be talking about the differences between the Nintendo Switch version of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and the original Wii U's version. There is a 3DS version that you can get of Mario Kart, but that's not exactly what we're speaking of. It can compete with the Switch, but that's a whole nother discussion. Basically, it comes down to battery life, how long you're going to be spending out. If you're going to be spending several hours out, you should probably get the 3DS version. If you're only going out for a few short hours, then the Switch version will be fine. It all comes down to battery life. If you want the looks and the game to look the best and run the best, the Switch version is obviously the one you're going to be getting. But there's a lot more to it than that. Basically, the question that needs to be asked is $60 worth the price of admission for a few updates if you already have the Wii U version or have a Wii U and was planning to get this game? Does the updates and upgrades justify that cost of $60 more? That's a lot of money. Now, there's no questioning that this game is a masterpiece. It's a really great game for casual gamers and hardcore gamers alike. Take it from someone who's 100% at every Mario Kart game and started off with the Super Nintendo version. I love Mario Kart, but to say the least, this has a few problems and I'm going to express them. Firstly, there's going to be a list of changes I'm going to link in the description below, and that's for the Switch version. The Deluxe version for the Switch includes many of the DLC characters and adds 6 new characters, including King Boo, Dry Bones, Bowser Jr., Inkling Boy, and Girl. Several new carts, new features and changes, and visual changes, resolutions, cups and tracks, the whole 9 yards. If you guys want a full list of this, again, take the link in the description below so you can read on it. But it's essentially the same game, just tweaked to perfection. Again, that poses the question, are all these tweaks worth $60? Well, to me personally, no. The biggest change that you get from the Switch for me personally is not the addition or the tweaks or the features, but rather that you're getting a full 1080p signal in docked mode versus the 720 on the Wii U. Now, you might say that's not that much of a difference, but for me personally, it's always wonderful to see a jump in technology. Going from 360p to 480 to 720 to full HD, it's outstanding to see the details and the clarity instead of looking at a fuzzy sign in an old game and wondering what exactly it was trying to say. Yeah, you can play games at lower resolutions and there's nothing wrong with that. For example, there's a 3DS version that can compete with the Switch. The Switch can go into mobile mode, but really it comes down to battery life. The point is, you need to get the version that you want that would fit your needs. Now, if you already have the Wii U version of Mario Kart, don't get the Switch version. It's not worth spending $60 unless you're a hardcore fan. Unless you're not going to have your Wii U hooked up anymore. Because really, the additions, if you happen to get all the DLC for the Wii U version, the additions that you're going to see from the Switch version are very minuscule at best. And don't get me wrong, they do make the game really fun and great to play, but they're not game changers. This is still Mario Kart. After playing online, I think one of the best changes is the stabilization of the networks. After several years, we've had great improvements with wireless connectivity and network stabilization. So you will be able to run races, and I never got disconnected once after peak hours of playing with, you know, several people over the course of several hours. So I didn't lose a race because I got disconnected or anything like that. And I don't have the absolute best internet either. So I was quite impressed with the multiplayer performance. The Switch and the Wii U line up at about 60 frames each. Depending on your modes and what you're playing with can change how the frame rate stutter will happen on the Wii U, but the Switch is crisp and clean, and I only saw a drop in frames when there were more than 4 people playing on a local screen. That would be split screen 4 ways, and it dropped it down to 30. But if you're comparing the mobile versions, you can play the Switch Mario Kart at 720p versus the Wii U's pads at 480. And that's a massive difference. We're talking HD versus standard definition. I've already spoke about these features in great length, and I haven't even talked about all of them, and this video is getting quite long. But the point is, if you've seen the review for the original Mario Kart on Wii U, people were calling it a masterpiece, then more than likely, you're probably going to get the same exact results from the Switch. So it really depends on whether or not you already have a Wii U and already have the Mario Kart game and just want the newer version, or you just need to buy it outright because you don't have it at all. Now, for a few critiques about the game. I absolutely loathe 50cc, and I can almost not stand 100cc. These modes for me are extremely slow, and I hate that you have to clear them for 100% rating, because going through every single course in 50 and 100cc's with various different characters can help you get a grip on racing and allow you to do better, but at the end of the day, after the third or fourth tournament course set, you're not going to be enjoying the game that much because there's not enough competition around you. If you're really good at Mario Kart, you're going to consistently be in first place, and you're going to constantly be hit by random red shells, random blue shells, and it's not going to stop you from being in first place, because if you're good at those types of games, if you're good at those game modes, you know exactly what to do, what shortcuts to take, where to go, what items to use when. So really, to get in competition, you do have to use the harder modes, the mirror modes, the higher CC ratings. My point is that those modes are not difficult enough to retain my attention as a hardcore Mario Kart fan, and they probably won't be enough to retain yours. So my question to Nintendo is, why not remove those modes and set them as training? Because even the most casual people, I have rarely ever seen them have problems with 50 to 100cc. And maybe you're just terrible at games. I understand that. Maybe you just have a horrible time controlling the game. That does not equal the game being difficult. That just means you're not that good at controlling the game. And I understand that. Some people aren't great at racing games and they need easier modes. But that still doesn't mean that it's a difficult mode because of the game itself. It's just because of the type of game. Because people aren't good at controlling racing games, or perhaps games period. Which means that those modes and revisiting those modes over and over again anytime there's a new Mario Kart release is an agonizing pain that I am getting tired of going through. I enjoy 100% in games. I enjoy getting my money's worth out of games, and to be forced to do a super easy mode when I'm way past that in my skill level sucks really bad. I would have liked to have seen an option to make that kind of a training mode that you didn't have to complete. Maybe an easy mode, you know? But they retain the names for nostalgia's sake. It's congruent with the higher CCs, so it makes sense. But I wish there was just some way you could skip that if you were trying to 100% the game. I think a lot of people will agree with me that those modes are just too slow for them, but that's about my only complaint about the game. Just having to play through those two modes at a slow pace is really annoying to 100% the game. Overall, I really appreciate the game, and I think it's really great with its new features. Again, the full list of changes will be linked in the description below, but for me personally, I would say that it's not worth purchasing for $60. Don't get me wrong, I think it's one of the perfect racing games, but to justify the purchase of a $60 game, that's quite a lot of money. Nowadays, you could get, you know, several 360 games, you could buy a lot of games on eBay, you could go to, I shudder to say this, but GameStop and get several games. You could go to Walmart and buy three $20 games for that. And if you already own Mario Kart, good luck convincing your parents, yourself, or your significant other that you need a newer version of this game because yeah. And when they see it, it's going to look exactly the same, just a little bit cleaner, better, nicer, and they're going to say, why did you need this game again? So why would you spend $60 on this instead saving it up for another really important Mario game? Now everyone's probably looking at me and saying, Jesus Proto, it's just $60. But I come from a time where I had a weekend rental. I come from an age where my allowance for the month was $20, okay? I don't come from a time where people would drop 60 bones on a game every couple days. So if you're like me and you don't get a lot of money, this is something that's massively important to you. And I'm telling you right now that I don't personally think this game is worth $60. Now you could contest with me, you could say that's BS, I think it is, but I'm just putting my opinion out there. If you have a different opinion, you can drop it in the section below, but I think the best part about the purchase of this game is that you're getting two games, a mobile version and the console version. So you can take this game anywhere you want with you, but again, it is limited and hampered by that Switch's battery. So unless you want to be carrying around an extra battery pack, probably not the best idea to be taking your Switch out with you for an extended period of time. So whether or not you think it's worth getting a mobile version that you can take out for 2 to 3 hours, or a console version, or just an upgraded version, really comes down to you and your wallet. And the changes really don't justify that for me. I spent the money, so you don't have to. I showed you gameplay footage. I talked about some of the more important changes to me. And I think if you're a PC gamer and you really wanted to play Mario Kart for the Wii U, but you couldn't justify purchasing the Wii U, this might be the Mario Kart for you to get, because it is 60 FPS. And as we all know, PC Master Race, 60 FPS, that's the bare minimum. So ladies and gentlemen, do you agree with my review? Do you agree with my thoughts on this? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. I've been your host, Protomario. I'm signing out. As always, good gaming, God bless, and thanks for watching.